What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday, December 8th, 2021. Just a mere 3 weeks left of this year, and really excited to see what 2022 has up its sleeve. But we are here back with our live discussions, breaking down the latest episode of Hawkeye, episode 4. We got a special character that made an appearance that we'll talk about. We got some bonding between Tait and Clint and some other little mysterious things that we got throughout the episode. Who the hell? What's the Rolex? What's the big deal with the Rolex? But we'll be talking about that. But also as far as like Marvel news, not just MCU, but just Marvel in general. We got a Spiderverse trailer we're going to be talking about tonight. Shang-Chi 2, as well as other various shows and spinoffs within that universe, within the MCU, obviously. And then Daredevil. Charlie Cox, ladies and gentlemen, has been announced. He will be making his way back to the MCU, as said by Kevin Feige. So much to go over. So excited to be here. If this is your first time tuning in, make sure you're liking the video, sharing the video. We're going to try to get to your comments in the chat because we love communicating with you all. But I don't do this alone. So I will be bringing in my co-host in a little bit. But again, just make sure to share, like, and of course, subscribe to these great content creators I'm going to bring in here in a bit. Bringing in the first one here. He's been on the journey since day one with our WandaVision recaps and all the way here to Hawkeye. Really excited to get his thoughts on this episode as well as all these crazy great news that we have. I'm talking about my main man representing the East Coast, Chris from Tait. What's going on, man?
What up? How you doing, bro?
Doing good, man. It's December 8th, man. A couple more weeks to Christmas and wrap up the year. And of course, we got the big movie coming up next week. So things are looking good, man. How about you?
Yo, that's crazy. I forgot that it was next week. I didn't realize that. That's deep.
It's right around the corner. And hey, I manifested it, Chris. I got the invite yesterday, bro.
Oh, nice.
I'm seeing it Tuesday. If I'm here and alive, I'll be seeing Spider-Man next Tuesday.
Is it the full thing or is it the 40 minutes or what?
No, it's the full press screening. No guests, just all press. So it'll be 7 p.m. Next Tuesday. I'll be seeing Spider-Man, man. So I'm really excited.
Do you know if it's IMAX or Dolby or?
It is. I don't know. That's a great question. I think the theater it is at is an IMAX. I'm pretty sure it is. If not, I'm going to see it in IMAX probably the following day. But really stoked, man. Really stoked. Spider-Man.
That's dope.
It's here.
You have me nervous. You have me nervous. So then I got to shut the internet down.
You got to, man. I think we got to shut the internet down yesterday, right? Or whenever over the weekend. It was a leak that came out with some track list on the new movie that might have gave something away, man. But hey, internet, you love it, you hate it. Nothing we can do with it, man. But hey, Chris, why don't you let the fine folks at home know where you're at, what you do, all that great stuff, my friend. The stage is yours.
What up? Oh, you see my little Christmas tree? Yeah. It's on. No problem. Don't worry about that. We just in the season, you know what I'm saying? But my name is Chris Tait. I represent Tait's Take. My information, of course, is in the link to in the bio here. But I do movie reviews, TV shows, documentaries, all that fun stuff. Try to give you a little background of the content, and then just let you know if I think it's worth checking out. So if you're into that sort of thing, you can subscribe and check me out. I just dropped a video for Don't Look Up, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence. So you guys can check that out. And I'm doing Insecure recap and reviews if you guys watch that show on HBO every Sunday/Monday. So I'm really excited. Let's talk about some Hawkeye. Only 2 more episodes. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. And you mentioned a couple movies, man. I know you said you got your review for Don't Look Up. Of course, guys, check out his review. But just quick take, man. Is it a movie that people should be excited for coming, what is it, December 21st, if I'm not mistaken?
It's coming. You can on Netflix the 24th, and you can go to some theaters going to be this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
But yeah, if you're into comedy, I think it's, if not the best, one of the best of the year for sure. Everyone that's in the cast is a big name, and everybody brings it official. And for me personally, it touches on my heartstrings because I'm a big fan of political satire stuff, just making fun of how we act as human beings. It's like so embarrassing sometimes, but it's like people can see the crazy from the outside looking in and make a story about it. And it's like a good message behind it. Like, you only get one planet, so like, let's see what we do with it. So real cool movie. I gotta break down the comedy movies because it might be the best one of the year for comedy. But either way, overall, it's just still like one of the best movies overall. But you got to be into that sort of stuff. Like I really liked the movie Irresistible last year. A lot of people didn't like that. It's like that's my kind of shit. Like making fun of the election process, making fun of how we act and how we do things. That's my lane. But even this one, I think, will touch people even more than that one did. That one was, if you don't like politics, you're not going to like that movie, I guess. But this one's really good. Especially like Jonah Hill. People love Jonah Hill. He's just as if you're a Jonah Hill fan, this is
which I am. Yeah,
because I think he's he's stepping away from the crazy comedy stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're into like that vintage Jonah Hill, like you get a lot of that here. Like you get like it's like Jonah Hill's back. Like of course he's doing. I respect his journey, but
yeah,
you get a little classic Jonah Hill back.
That's good to hear, man. I'm a big fan of this. I mean, the cast, as you mentioned, Jonah Hill, Meryl Streep, Leo, Jennifer Lawrence, who's been gone out of the spotlight for a while, and so many other various Timothy Chalamet, Kid Cudi, all that stuff. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Shout out Ariana Grande too. Like just pulling her weight, quick little scenes, but everyone's just doing their thing. Everyone's just pulling their weight.
Nice, man. Well, I'm excited to hear it. Guys, his review is on the channel, on his channel, link in the bio. Check it out. Like he said, it's coming out in theaters Friday and then the following week on Netflix.
I don't know if it's I'm thinking select theaters this weekend on the 10th, but definitely anyone can check it out on Netflix on the 24th. So.
Definitely. And Chris, you weren't the only one that checked it out, man. Our co-host, who's been having some wonderful internet difficulties, has made it. She's fought the internet and she won the battle. We got my girl from Canada, representing Canada, back with us again. Amanda, what's going on?
I'm good. I struggled, but I'm here. I don't know. I don't know what magic came. I don't know. I called Dr. Strange. Some shit went down. I have no idea. But yeah, nice. I'm back. It's good to be back. Hi guys. I was listening. I was listening, but yeah, I also watched Don't Look Up, and I agree with Chris. Yeah, I loved it. It's one of my favorites of the year, and. Nice. For me, I'm not a huge Jennifer Lawrence fan. It's controversial.
She's hit or miss for some people. No, you're not the only one.
Yeah. So I kind of avoid talking about her. But this is my favorite performance from her.
Wow. Okay.
Actually, like I liked her in Silver Linings, but I think that this one is like, for me anyway, I've really appreciated what she did with this. But it was a lot of fun. Jonah steals it, like you said. Like I was just so happy he's back, and Leo's Leo. Hey. He has monologues that are just ridiculously good. And I had a lot of fun with it. So I agree.
That's awesome. And Adam McKay, I know he's a very interesting director, obviously comedy background, but in the last 4 or 5, his last like 4 or 5 movies have been, like Chris mentioned, the kind of political satire, whether it be The Big Short and all that different stuff. So I'm looking forward to it.
But I didn't realize he had a breakup with Will Ferrell.
Yeah, I thought that was a joke. But I looked more into it. This is like true story for you all that don't know. Adam McKay and Will Ferrell, very great friends, collaborative
Step Brothers, Anchorman,
so many classics. They have their own production company together, but apparently they broke up because of a casting choice of having John C. Reilly casted as Jerry Buss in the new HBO Lakers series instead of for Will Ferrell. So hey, man, I guess bad blood, man. Damn, it's like Hollywood. Cut deep.
You can't stay besties in that industry, apparently.
Which is also like crazy immature. Like, what do you like? You didn't get your way, and then
I thought it was a joke, Chris. When I first saw the headline, this is a joke. They're probably just playing around, but no, this is like true story. They're beefing with each other because he didn't get cast in the role. Like, come on, Will Ferrell, you're a little bit more. I thought you were more mature than that, but apparently not. But hey. Amanda, we're here to talk Marvel. We're here to talk MCU. We're here to talk Hawkeye, and I'm so glad to have you both on. But Amanda, why don't you let the fine folks at home know where you're at, where they can find you, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you guys can always find me over at AMX ND Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. I've been taking a break from videos because my life has been pretty hectic. So I've just been writing because I also have another writing job on the side. So I've been focusing on my website, which is candidcinema.com. I have West Side Story, my West Side Story review coming up. And then I have The King's Man because on I think Monday. And I'm excited to watch that. It's been very long time. I'm tired of seeing the trailers. I want to watch the movie, so I'm excited.
I got a chance to see it. I don't know what day it was. I saw it the other day. Very interesting film. Very excited to talk more about it. But West Side Story, you did see that, right, Amanda?
I watched it. I'm a big fan of the original.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Steven Spielberg directing it, I don't think that it would be held to like such a high regard. I think that the story itself has always been problematic and wonky, not the best script. But there's some solid performances from the secondary characters, not the leads, in my honest opinion. That's also a hot take because everyone's like, "Oh my God, Rachel Zegler." I'm like, "Yeah, she's good. She can sell the songs, but can she sell the act?" You know what I mean? There's a big difference.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, if it weren't for Spielberg's direction, which was amazing.
Yeah.
and the like choreography, those are the two things that stood out. It would have just like fizzled. But
I can't wait to read that article. I do agree with you with those supporting cast members, especially help me out, Amanda. What's her name?
Ariana
DeBose, if I'm not
mistaken.
mistaken.
Yeah.
As Annette, if I'm not mistaken, she was great. And the young man that played
Riff,
Mike Frisk
Michael
or something
Faist,
like that. Yeah, he was great as well. So
those were the two that I'm like, they need to be in every single scene, or else I'm gonna.
Why was the music? Did I read that it was banned in certain countries?
Yeah,
I read that today too, because I guess there's a character that I guess and some people in other countries are a little bit more behind the times. Yeah,
it's an implied like trans character, and it was very like back in the day, like it was taboo to even talk about that. So I guess they're still kind of like, we're not gonna put this out there. So unfortunately,
they're lost because, like Amanda said, I think it's a pretty magical film.
Like what is those poor people that live in that country? Like, ugh.
I guess they got to watch it on or come to other countries to watch it, or wait till it comes out on Blu-ray. I guess, man. But it is a magical film, and I believe it's this Friday, right, Amanda? That West Side Story is coming
this Friday.
Yeah. No doubt. Well, hey guys, you see Amanda and Chris here. They don't just talk Marvel; they talk all different variety of movies and shows. So again, their links are in the bio. Check out Amanda's website, her YouTube, or Instagram. My boy Chris, check out his YouTube as well and his other social media accounts. You will not be disappointed, ladies and gentlemen. So we got a stacked show, but quick shout out to everyone showing some love. Quick shout out to CG. He did some really cool things on his Instagram to kind of promote tonight's live, and I always appreciate the stuff that he reposts with us going live. So shout out to him. Rims, we got Harley in the building. Caitlin, what's going on? We got so many fine folks. Strictly Starlight, how you doing tonight? My man Justin from Texas showing some love. Yeah, the Wi-Fi was iffy, but Amanda, she fought it. She conquered it, and here she is doing the damn thing. And people are excited about West Side Story. So yes.
Awesome.
Yes. So, man and Chris, there was some big Marvel stuff that we got over the weekend, which I'm pretty excited to talk about. First story on the docket is we got a movie that came out in September that we talked about and had a good time with, and it's been greenlit. We're talking about Shang-Chi, ladies and gentlemen, and the Legend of the Ten Rings. They got announced that they're going to be making a sequel, but not just a sequel, but many other things from Daniel's resume with Marvel now. He's working on TV shows, and apparently the show might be a little bit of a comedy. I think we can all allude to thinking that one of the shows will probably involve the Ten Rings. We know how that film ended. So Chris, man, sequel to Shang-Chi. Let me know your excitement on that and what you maybe hope to see in the sequel, but also the announcement of maybe other projects in this world of characters. Awkwafina might get a show. Who knows? Is this something you're looking forward to, man?
Number one, of course, definitely looking forward to a Shang-Chi sequel. Love that movie. Great movie. I don't know if every interesting character needs a fucking spinoff though. Like it's getting crazy,
right? Yeah.
Oh.
And I love Awkwafina, but like if even like Yelena is 10 times better as a next person than Awkwafina was. So like maybe I'll take that show, but like I don't think everyone just needs a show. We have a lot of shows to get through. So like I just don't agree with just like the fans like this person, get them a show. Like the fans like this person, like put them in someone else's movie, bring them back for the sequels and stuff like that. So I don't think that we need to just see all these spin-offs and rent-offs and bin-offs and kin-offs. But definitely happy for Sydney. I really enjoyed that movie. Yeah. And I only watched that one time in the theater, so I'm happy it's back on Disney now, so I can check it out again. But really like that movie. I'm happy for them.
I agree, man. I actually saw it a couple nights ago, and it still not only holds up, but actually, as you all may or may not remember, I was not a fan of Trevor's inclusion in the story. I'm coming to just check out when he's in the movie. It's not that he was bad. I just found
it's not that bad.
It just took away the momentum, and it's just like the jokes, Marvel. But hey, I still really enjoyed the film. Like you said, Chris, I'm really looking forward to the sequel, which brings me to you, Amanda. Just thoughts. Number one, we got the sequel greenlit pretty quickly. If I'm not, a lot of these Marvel films takes a couple projects, maybe some months down the road before they announce it, but pretty quick turnaround 3 months later. So let me know, are you excited for the sequel? What do you hope to see? And of course, these separate projects. Do you want to see a Legend of the Ten Rings TV show, or Awkwafina doing her thing on the side and maybe having another character on her own show? But what's your hopes to see with these expansion of these characters?
I am beyond excited. I absolutely loved that movie in theaters. I watched it twice in theaters and then once again back home when they released it with the IMAX format.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool on Disney Plus to go back, and as you said, like, it does hold up. It still holds up.
Yep.
And for me, it's just like one of the most enjoyable MCU films in a while. I think I haven't gotten that feeling watching something since Far From Home, where I was just like so excited to watch it and like watch it again and again and again. So I'm really happy that we have another one added to that list. I don't really care for Awkwafina's character that much. Getting her
Katie, is that her name? Katie, I think.
Yeah, because I think she only works alongside Shang-Chi. Like, I don't think like it wouldn't work on her own, because they were back and forth, and like their banter is what makes them so cool and what makes her awesome too. I'm not saying that she can't kick ass with some archery. Maybe she'll be in Hawkeye. Who knows? That'd be interesting. See what I did? Huh? But I would love to have a show with his sister leading the 10 Rings. I think that would be so badass. And if I want to see anything, because that's like an underground like ring as well, that could tie into so many other things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be really smart, and she deserves to have her own show because she's a badass.
She was a badass. I totally agree with you, man. And I'm so on the same wavelength with you, with his sister being now the leader of the 10 Rings. And like you said, as far as TV shows go, it kind of is almost like a handoff, like an alley-oop, because we know Ironheart is going to have some ties into the Iron Man lore. And we all know the 10 Rings was in Iron Man 1. And of course, Rhodey's trying to get, his buddies' weapons off the street. So that to me is like a mini arc on the TV show. So I love your idea of maybe exploring more of the 10 Rings, because if I'm being honest, the 10 Rings were a little bit lackluster in the film for me. Like, we meet them at the beginning, like they're essentially Hydra taking out all these governments. But then when we meet them, they're just kind of like, not that scary and villainous and all that stuff. So I'm hoping that we can get more of that lore and maybe learn more about the 10 Rings and like the origins of the 10 Rings and where they come from. So a lot of opportunity, guys. I'm really looking forward to the movie, obviously. I don't know, Amanda, quick thoughts. Can we get a recast of Iron Fist if there is a Shang-Chi character to maybe implement in a sequel? Would you like to see that happen?
We recast Iron Fist. We just recast. I don't care who they get. We recast Iron Fist, we reintroduce him, and we fix whatever the hell happened over at Netflix. Okay, we fix it.
My man Finn, I can't think of his first name right now, from Game of Thrones. That was terrible casting. I don't know, Chris, if you got a chance. I know you didn't see Daredevil, but did you watch Iron Fist, my friend, on Netflix?
I'm the most I've seen on anything Marvel on Netflix is Luke Cage. But the other ones I have not watched. But my homework is this weekend to check out Daredevil. So just hold your freaking horses. I know it's nice. Maybe a nice little transition to what your next topic is.
Oh yeah, perfect transition, my friend. As Chris just alluded to, ladies and gentlemen, we got another announcement. And I don't know, Amanda and Chris, it sounds like Kevin Feige. He's been the whole spoiling culture has kind of rubbed up on him, because my man Kevin Feige, I don't know if he's ever done this before, where there's been rumors for, I don't want to say months, years, of Charlie Cox making his way back into the MCU, and it's been officially announced by the man himself, Kevin Feige. He was interviewed for the No Way Home press tour, and the journalist asked, "Hey, is there a chance of these Netflix characters returning?" And he flat out said, when we see Daredevil again, which will be probably sooner rather than later, you can expect the actor Charlie Cox to be back as our Daredevil in the MCU. Tossing it right back to you, Chris. I know you say you haven't seen Daredevil yet. So the question I have for you is, are you looking forward to seeing some of these legacy, aka legacy characters, whether it be Netflix or X-Men or Fantastic Four, bringing those characters back? Or would you prefer, again, not even seeing Daredevil, would you just want a new actor and a new role to kind of, for someone like you to be introduced to them for the first time? What's your thoughts about this, man?
No, I like it when they keep that same energy, as the kids would say. So I mean, like, if I was a fan of Daredevil, like, obviously you guys love the show, so like I would definitely want Charlie to be back in it. X-Men for sure, like especially the new X-Men, the new class. For the I think we like most of those actors. How they're portraying. So I definitely want to see them, especially if it's like their first MCU, because we want to feel that transition. We want to feel like we got what we wanted, is like picking them out and putting into the MCU. Then as the future goes, then you can move them around. But I think in the beginning, keeping those same actors, as many as you can, like that would keep the fans like, all right, I like this collaboration here.
Well said, man. I mean, Amanda, we have both, and most of the people in the chat have seen the Daredevil show. My man Chris, you're missing out, my friend. It's an incredible show. I'm not hyping it up, no hyperbole,
So
man. It
good.
is so good. But Amanda, your take on Charlie Cox officially being announced to return as that's the question. Is it the Daredevil from the Netflix show, multiverse stuff somehow, some way gets into the MCU, or would you like the idea of it being a variant of Matt Murdock, and he's been in the MCU, but he has been in the shadows and hasn't really been exposed as a character. So what would you prefer as far as how Charlie Cox portrays this character in the MCU?
I will take the shadows right now in this particular universe, because if he is like the one from Netflix, I don't think that it would be smart to do that, because I feel like it would be like one and done in that case. It just like if Toby's in it, if Andrew's in it, like that type of thing. I wouldn't want that for him. But considering the possibility of what we're getting in Hawkeye, I do think that this is going to be like lawyer Matt coming in for No Way Home, and that he's not fully, out as Daredevil yet. And I think that'd be really cool. But my only worry about having Daredevil enter the MCU is that Netflix nailed like the violence and the action scenes. And if it's not like on that same tier with him in the future, then I think it's going to be really disappointing. Yeah. So I'm apprehensive of how they're going to present him. But yeah, I really hope it's just like lawyer first and then we dive in.
So that's, I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm more than excited to see Charlie Cox or Matt, him playing Matt Murdock in MCU, but I'm so on the same wavelength as you, Amanda, when it comes to when you see it, Chris, this show is gritty. Like it is they're not like cutting. Well, there's an episode where someone's head gets literally smashed in, but it's not like a, full on rated R, but it is pretty mature stuff that's got going on. And I mean, my man gets beat up. There's blood. There's really dark stuff going on. And this is Disney, not the darkest content out there. So that's my biggest thing, is like the fear of bringing in these characters from Netflix is just like, okay, where does the line stop? Are we going to get, again, an Iron Fist being brought back, a Luke Cage, a Jessica Jones? If they don't come back, are fans going to be upset? If Charlie Cox isn't portraying the same version that he did on Netflix, are people going to be like, oh, this sucks? Because that's the thing that's going to be so hard to do, is just how the audience will be receptive of this version of Matt Murdock and how that's all going to play out, man, which is going to be interesting to see how Marvel handles that in regards to their take on the character. So we'll see. But again, as Amanda alluded to, just roundtable style, Chris, if you were to put your money on this, Murdock first next week in Spider-Man, do we see him in a Hawkeye Echo series first? Does he get his own series or his own solo movie? How would you like to see this character be introduced into the MCU for the first time? And what's your bet on when we will see him?
Yeah, that's tough. I think I would have wanted to bet on Spider-Man next week, but then I'm like, there's so much happening, and then I'm really trying to avoid the Twitter worlds and the rumors and all that. So maybe you guys know more than me, but like, I feel like we would have got a little clue already, because the internet is so stupid, if he was in it for next week. But if not, I would say maybe the Echo Show, which is an Amazon product, so I don't want to throw anyone off. That's where I'm at.
Gotcha, man. The same question with you. And to Chris's point, I don't think it's a coincidence that he announced it a week before Spider-Man's coming out. So I don't know if it's just like a little housekeeping, like, hey, it might already be out there on the internet, so let me just go ahead and jump ahead of this bullet.
Because then I think on the other side, like if it was for next week, he would just be like, fuck it, they'll see it in a week, or like for press, they'll see it in a couple of days.
See, my thing is that I have a very strong feeling that Kingpin is gonna drop in Hawkeye next episode, and not episode 6. Yeah, exactly. So if we're talking about connectivity to the movies now, if Kingpin shows up in episode 5, then Matt will show up in No Way Home. Yeah. Then if that doesn't happen and Kingpin's episode 6, then you would have Matt in No Way Home or in episode 6 of Hawkeye, or alluded to that fact, like however they're going to do it. I think that's just been running through my mind, because there is a lawyer. There is a scene. We saw that he's in an office with someone and you don't see the face. So we're banking that it is Charlie because we also heard rumors, you know, that he's doing reshoots, all that stuff, whether it's fake or not or whatever. But I think that's the connection that I'm confused. It's too much. Like it's going around in my head. I need
It's
this
a
movie.
lot. It's a lot. I think you're right on seeing him next week, and I think a lot of the rumors have been said that it will be Matt Murdock in the film and not Daredevil per se, and we might see Daredevil in a la She-Hulk series or something a little bit further down the line. So we'll see. I mean, it's good problems to have if you're Kevin Feige, right? Oh, where do I put this talented actor with this character that people love? Where do I place it? I mean, it's just a good problem to have, but it is so cool that we're finally getting all these characters that have been separated for years. You know, we got Spider-Man in 2017. We're finally getting the X-Men sooner rather than later. Same with Fantastic Four. So we're eating good over here as Marvel fans. And Amanda, it just burns my heart that you know, we got Daredevil back from Netflix, and we can't get a damn Superman 2 movie.
Why you gotta?
It's been 8 years, Amanda.
Superman 2.
Why you gotta?
The disrespect.
Elliot, why you gotta do this to me?
It just hurts my heart.
It hurts.
My heart.
Why you gotta
my
say
man
it?
Henry Cavill wants to play Superman, but they just don't. Anyway, I'm happy for Charlie Cox back in the role. I hope we get to see maybe some of his characters from his show, whether it be Deborah, who played, I can't think of the character name, or Froggy, I believe his best friend's name.
Yeah.
Electra, who was great in the show.
So good.
John Berthal as the Punisher. I mean,
please. Oh my God.
Listen, it's a lot of stuff.
It's
a lot of stuff. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, let us know. And you guys are lighting up the chat. A lot of you all look to be pretty excited about it. Excited for him to come back, and excited to see where he's going to pop up. So it's some good stuff. But quick shout out to the super chat here, Carl, saying shout out from Toronto. Love
Six
the channel.
love. Sorry,
love from Toronto. Love the channel. Last 2 episodes of Hawkeye are promising. Well, I appreciate the super chat and a great comment. And man, that is some Canada love there. Repping it. I love it. Appreciate the super chat and a great question there, or great comment there. But we got a trailer to react to here. Hopefully we don't get sniped by the wonderful YouTubes. But let's transition to a particular trailer before we go into it. Again, as fans of Marvel, we're eating good. I mean, this is I don't know, is it Spider-Man overload? But we got Miles, we got video games, we got No Way Home, we got obviously this animated show with Peter Parker's first year in high school, and now Spider-Verse into the Spider-Man into Spider-Verse 2 has been announced to come out next October. Before we play this quick trailer, Chris, just your thoughts on the first Spider-Man. Because I don't know if I know your thoughts on Into the Spider-Verse. Are you a fan of that animated film that shocked the world 3 years ago?
Yeah, 100%, 5 out of 5. I was Miles Morales for Halloween the year before last. 100% fan.
Big fan. Is it, ranking wise, is it one of your favorite Spider-Man films to date?
It's the best one, but I don't like to include it because it's not a real thing.
Gotcha.
But that's where you know where my heart is at.
Same question for you, Amanda. Thoughts on that film that came out 3 years ago and where it kind of ranks for you in the Spider-Man pantheon of movies?
This is ranked second, and I loved it so much. Like, I actually started tearing up because I'm like, this is so good. Stan's in the movie. This is so great. Like, the animated Stan, like, it was just awesome. I'm just happy that Miles got, his debut in however way that they could have done it. And the animation's incredible.
Next level.
Incredible. So I was really impressed with it. I actually just rewatched it because I'm doing my Spider-Man rewatch. But yeah, I rewatched it. I'm like floored. And I don't know how they're going to even make a sequel to this thing. Well, I don't know.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Again, fingers crossed YouTube doesn't snipe it, but I have the clip that they showed over the weekend. So if you guys haven't seen it, this is what Spider-Man 2 gave us over the weekend.
Every time I'm leaving on you, you don't make it easy. No. Wish I could be
Miles! You got a minute?
Oh! What? Whoa, Gwen? How did you get... How have you been?
It's a long story. Is this the room you grew up in?
It is, but my dorm room is very adult.
Right. No, of course. Hey, are these your drawings?
What? No,
Oh,
no.
Good.
missed you too.
Okay. So, what are you doing here? I mean, I thought I'd never see you again.
Want to get out of here?
I'm grounded.
Bummer.
What?
Best part.
Spider-Man grounded?
It's so cool.
I mean, I
Fire.
So good.
So good. Across the multiverse, part 1, Spiderverse. Part 1. All right, Chris, my man. Thoughts, comments, concerns, theories, man. What you thinking about this part 1, which is an interesting thing because it's so weird because it's 2, but it's part 1 of this particular story. But your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, it's 5 out of 5. It looks very cool. It's a very unexpected. So, I guess all surprises are unexpected. A very big surprise seeing this trailer pop up on my little feed. I have a huge crush on Spider-Gwen. I guess just pretending I'm her same age, whatever, so it's not creepy. But she's just so epic in that first one, and the trailer doesn't show you too much.
Yeah,
it's just so cool, man. And it's like for a trailer that's not like coming 2026, like it's fucking a few months away. Like it's less than a year. This is great. Like I'll be there.
And just your quick thoughts, Chris. Part 1, man. So we're assuming this is a story that will be continuing to part 2, which it has been announced coming out the very next year. They've been shooting these at the same time, which I really appreciate because we know animation takes a long time to make. Yeah. So part 1, man, are we going to end on this jaw-dropping Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire cliffhanger of an ending leading into part 2?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we are, and from what I read about the first one making that movie, how like they just were instructed to like break whatever animation styles that existed already. So I know a lot goes into it, even probably making that trailer so intricate. But yeah, looks like definitely at least 2 of these things, and I would imagine the second one comes out the next year.
Yeah, man, it's they're moving pretty quickly, and I'm really happy for it. And in Italian, I was a little bit bummed that the first directors weren't back in the forefront with this one, but they replaced it with Kim Powers, who, if you guys haven't seen, One Night in Miami, and then a great animated film last year in Soul, and also the couple other creators that I'm a fan of. So they replaced them with some really talented individuals, which is always good to hear. So Amanda, your thoughts on this teaser? It looks like now I'm confused. To me, is it a time jump because the design looks the same, but it looks like Miles' hair grew up a little bit, but it's supposed to.
It's not his hair. He's like a grown. He's like puberty.
I think he's older.
This dude is like
But
he's much taller and everything.
The ending of part 1, that same scene kind of played out where Gwen came through and said, "Hey, Miles, are you?" So am I confused of thinking that's the same scene months later? What's going on here in the timeline?
Maybe No Way Home affects the Spider-Verse.
All the time.
Imagine if that would be insane. I think maybe she does go visit him sometimes, and then like periodically, and then this is like him growing up, and like this is grown up, and then she comes back again. It's like, we need to save this and that or whatever, something like that. I think that they have been talking, especially if you can just randomly open a portal, be like, "What's up, Miles?" and then they can chill. So I think that's what it is. But yeah, I'm excited. He's adorable. I just love him so much, and it's just fun to see a different Spider-Man. I'm tired of Peter Parker. We're gonna get 3 of them. I'm just tired of Peter. Like, I really am. So.
Time for a new Spider-Man to suit up, and hopefully maybe we'll get that in live action sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But just before we wrap it up, just kind of quick thoughts on this, starting with you, Chris. We got I don't know if it's a quote unquote villain. I think even our boy Michael mentioned in the chat, fighting Miguel, Spider-Man 2099, which I'm not too familiar with their comic book run, like literally at all. But just your thoughts on, this picture here. It looks like he has like a device on his wrist. He's pretty formidable. Looks like he's a pretty big person to go against, and if this is the case, the villain. But just your thoughts on 2099 Spider-Man, and then of course you got Oscar Isaac coming back to voice the character.
Oh, I thought that was Rey Mysterio. No, I'm just joking. I definitely don't know anything about that comic run. Looks cool. Thing on his wrist looks like the fucking Black Widow thing. So maybe that thing is just getting spread around. But I'm interested to see where we go. Would have been cool to see that version of a Carnage instead of that stupid movie. No offense, Amanda. Carnage and Venom in a Spider-Verse too, but
whatever.
We'll get there.
Hey, they did say there will be some new characters that we can't see on the big screen in this film, so who knows if Venom makes an appearance or not. But same question to you, Amanda. Oscar Isaac, I mean, the man is just killing it. He's Moon Knight, obviously, and he's back to play Miguel. If I'm not mistaken, Michael, if you're still in chat, as far as origins go, I believe he's the only Spider-Man that wasn't like bit by a spider. He experimented on himself and has taken powers from different Spider-Man. Cool. I don't know. So maybe that's why he's chasing Miles, to get his powers to become the best Spider-Man. Who knows? But your thoughts on Oscar Isaac returning as this character, and what other characters would you maybe like to see make their way into this film?
I'm obsessed with Oscar Isaac. In my eyes, he can do no wrong. So I'm just so happy that he's back for this. I mean, he looks pretty cool. So I'm excited. Yeah, Venom, bring my boy in. I want him on like everything. Just plaster him everywhere. I love it. The DVD drops on next Tuesday, right before No Way Home. Look at that.
Yeah,
and then it's
all
perfect.
Time. Yep.
So yeah, no, I would love to see Venom. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. Venom, get us some Craven maybe in there. I mean, they can just do so much with this multiverse and all this craziness going on. And who knows if a Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield lended their voice, or Tom Holland lended their voice for it. It's just so much. The multiverse is here, and it is opened up. Before we wrap up, I just want to know just quickly, because I touched on it a little bit, but Chris, is there almost too much Spider-Man, or is it just enough? Because again, we have No Way Home, the Spider-Man 2 game coming out in 2023. Obviously, he has his comic book runs. They already announced that Marvel's working on a Disney Plus animated show to show us the first year of him being Spider-Man. And now we got this. So is it almost, is it too much Spider-Man, or is it just the perfect amount of Spider-Man for you, man?
I don't know if that question can be answered until they start showing up, because right now there's only one Spider-Man. Then next week we'll see what we get. The video game is so far away. This movie is not till next year. Next year we won't be talking about No Way Home, and I don't think we will be. Not like this much. The TV show I didn't really hear about or know much. I don't know much about that. So we'll see if that's cool. But I think he's America's favorite Marvel person, or one of them. So I think you might as well cash in. If you're talking about making a Aquafina show, you better fucking give all the Spider-Man people what they want too. So if you got that kind of money to give Aquafina a show, give me 18 Spider-Mans.
Hey, let's make it happen. Amanda, same question for you. Is it, not saturating the market, but is it too much Spider-Man going on? Or again, is it, if we do have a diverse lineup of Spider-Man, again, a Miles Morales, a younger version, an older version, Spider-Gwen and all that stuff. Are you happy with all the Spider-Man stuff? Or is, like I said, it's a little bit too much?
I mean, I love Spidey. He's like the best Marvel superhero, the most well-known Marvel superhero before the Avengers even stepped in, and everyone loves him. I do think it's too much. Too much Peter Parker, at least. I think that with No Way Home, it's going to be great that we ended on a high note, and then we don't see Tom Holland for a bit, and he gets to chill and relax, and then you can bring in whatever Spideyverse Sony's building and get those characters on board, do Into the Spider-Verse with Miles. You have the game, you have maybe a Spider-Gwen spinoff, like you said, something like that, but give Tom Holland the freaking rest that he needs, poor guy, because he even has Uncharted. He just signed on to be Fred Astaire too on top of that. So I think it's better if we just end on a high note. No more Peter Parker. I'm serious. I'm tired. I really am. Just like Michael said, no more in high school. Thank God we're going to be done with that, unless it's the animated version. But I'm done with Peter Parker.
Hey,
Let
a
him
lot
rest.
of Spidey coming our way.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Like Chris said, we got to just wait till we see it until we can't say it's oversaturated until we actually see it. If it feels like it's getting tired, same beats, then yeah, we might need to pump the brakes on them. But Spider-Man, as someone even mentioned, a little bit of Batman. We got Spider-Man and Batman galore. We got all the Spider-Mans in the world, all the Batman in the world, and the man that we only got one Superman movie. So there's the silver lining in that, right? That's the sum of the topic. It's all the Spider-Man in the world, but no Superman. Henry Cavill, where you at? But everyone, let us know.
Superman peaked too early, man. Christopher Reeve had
he got too close to the sun, Chris. That's what they say. Just flew too close to the sun and just burned out, man. Henry Cavill, he's still got the suit, man. We got him in The Witcher next week, so he's a busy man. He's not struggling for roles. But listen, let us know in the chat, guys, how you guys feel about the Spiderverse 2, Daredevil making its return to MCU, and of course, Shang-Chi 2. And if you're watching some of the replay, let us know your thoughts on those topics. But we got an episode to talk about here tonight, which is Hawkeye episode 4, titled Partners. Am I right? Amanda, starting with you first. I saw some of your tweets earlier today before I checked out the episode. And before we dive deep into it, dissect it all, just your general take on this episode and how you're feeling about this show so far, 4 episodes in.
It's fine. Like, we have it. I really liked episode 3, and then 4 I was very underwhelmed with it. Maybe it's because they were hyping up certain things and it was just like, okay. I don't know, the writing just, it feels off, and I really do think by this point we should have just been like head first, like so excited for the next episode, like we were with like Loki or Falcon, or I was, and like WandaVision, like all of those. So I think that at this point in a series, we're supposed to feel that hype, and like I don't care, but I have to watch it, and like that's what's bugging me. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I'm just underwhelmed because it's just like basic format, run of the mill, and we're trying to get through a series. So sorry.
I share some of your sentiment. I'll get to one point, but I definitely share some of your concerns with the show so far. And Chris, man, same with you, man. Just your thoughts, general take on this episode. Well, obviously, we'll break it all down, and just how you're feeling at the fourth episode of the series so far.
Yeah, not too much different from my buddy Amanda. I did not like episode 3. Everybody loved it for whatever reason, but I like this a little better. But still, I think this is one of the only ones. And of course, this one had a good ending. Yes, naturally. But it's like we waited so many minutes for this. And I think a lot of the other shows, if I'm thinking use my brains, I think the other shows were like a slow build up. This show kind of started kind of high and it's a little bit going down, which might be the only one, in my opinion, that's done that yet. I was not excited about the show before it started, but then episode 1, I was like, yeah, maybe this show's gonna be all right. So every week they just let me down a little bit more. It's much more cartoony than I would like, and I love cartoons, but just a little bit, like they're putting like sound effects on like head, like it's very Home Alone, and I love Home Alone, but just because it's Home Alone, I don't want the Marvel series to act like that or remind me of that. I loved Yelena in her movie. No disrespect, Scarlett.
Yeah, it was our movie.
None
in Black Widow. So like I know I will like when she's here, but like you're using her. If you're using her to save this show, then you've already lost.
Yep,
because the show is called Hawkeye. So that's where I'm at.
I have thoughts about that after.
Yeah, same here, and we'll definitely get into it. I kind of feel the same way with you guys. I didn't hate episode 4 by any means. I think I'm with you, Amanda. Some scenes just felt kind of weird. We'll talk about the scene with Jack and Eleanor and Kate bonding weirdly. It was some weird stuff, some weird pacing, but like Chris said, of course, leave it to Marvel to hook us at the end. We all knew she was coming. I think the advertisement, the commercial last week pretty much alluded to Splinter Cell. Like who else would be wearing that? And we knew how Black Widow ended. So man, I totally agree with you. And that's kind of the nature of the internet. We kind of knew she was coming. And yes, it was cool to see her, but the end like that, obviously, makes us excited for the weeks ahead. But hey, we're going to dive into it again, guys. Let us know where you're at in the 4th episode, what you thought of this episode as we kind of break it down. as we open up the episode with events of last week, with obviously Jack having Ronan's sword to his throat. And we get this conversation here as, Kate Bishop being the witty character that she is. This is my partner. We're working together. This is an Avenger level threat that we're working together. And Eleanor just doesn't want to hear. And I love that consistency of the character so far, that she has been the one that's saying she's not a hero. So I love that she's not like, oh, okay, you're helping Kate. Okay. Like, she's still sticking to her guns that her daughter is not prepared for that life. So, Chris, man, your thoughts on opening the show with this kind of conversation being had? Obviously, Ronan takes the sword in his possession in the scene that Eleanor has with him, reminding him that she's just a kid and she's my daughter. I want her to be safe. Natasha was a pro, and look where that ended for her. So your thoughts on kind of how the episode opens up with these lines of scenes and dialogue here, man?
Yeah, I hated the first whatever minute or two when it's like sword at the neck. Oh, you're Hawkeye? Word. Yeah. Get out of my face. The scene sitting down at the table was much better. This scene here, in my opinion, couple funny lines from Kate, couple funny expressions from Clint. So I was like, okay, I'm here. I like the branding line I wrote down. The branding line was good. I like how she said, I wasn't like, oh my God, Hawkeye. That's a good line.
Yeah. CB1. She called him CB1.
So cute.
CB1, good little line. So this scene made up for the beginning nonsense. And then in a couple seconds, she walks him to the door of the mom and she drops the Black Widow. Like, it's crazy that you're even willing to like, you're even willing to put your daughter, like, if you really care about your daughter, like, like, she cannot hang with the Avengers. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, yes, Natasha died. Like, Natasha's a G. Like, don't even consider your daughter in that conversation.
Eleanor, I was like,
if you're saying Natasha died doing this stuff, like, then your daughter's already dead right now at the table. Just go check and do a funeral right there in the kitchen.
Yeah. That's
where I was at. Cool. Hate at the beginning. Cool little scene at the table. I was really cool up until then. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Amanda, toss it into you. That opening sequence again, CB1, as they're being interrogated by Jack, who's not fanboying out, but he says to Hawkeye, I appreciate you saving the world, by the way. He's still playing that cheesy whatever. We still don't know what to think of Jack, but your thoughts on obviously that moment, but then seeing Eleanor at the elevator telling Clint, Natasha was a skilled assassin, but she ended up dead. So what do you think that's going to land my daughter? Your thoughts on that whole scene right there?
Well, I agree with Chris that it was very stupid for him to not know who Hawkeye is and then thank him for his service. Yeah. But also, Hawkeye does not wear a mask. So how the hell do you not know who this man is? Like, it just didn't make any sense.
It was kind of weird. Yeah.
So I'm like, why are you trying to be funny?
It's the middle of the day.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, I understand that you want to play like Jack as like someone who could be a suspect, could be a bad dude, but yeah, he's like the most charming person. I get that you're trying to do that, but make it make sense. It's not making sense. The table scene, I agree. Freaking Haley Steinfeld, God bless you for actually putting a smile on my face once during this episode, because Haley and Jeremy do have great banter, and and I said this previously on other episodes. They are saving the show while they are together. Stop putting them apart, because that's where I start falling asleep. It's the truth. And like the rest of the writing doesn't make sense for the rest of the episode unless they're together. Like, it makes more sense when they're together and what the plan is and all of that. And then when they separate, I'm lost. It doesn't make any sense. It's not strong enough in that case.
Yeah.
So that annoyed me, but that scene at the table was probably the strongest. And then another scene, which we will talk about, that I thought the writing was strong again because they're together. Yeah. The elevator, I'm like, this girl has the audacity to bring up Natasha the way she did.
Yeah,
I was
very
like,
casually.
What? Right? But then it gets the gears turning for Clint, where like Eleanor's sus. She's shady. Yeah. And then Jack is shady. And it's like, you're telling me this. I obviously know I don't want your daughter around, but she's a pain in my ass type of thing. So I get that, because then we see Clint later on thinking about all of this stuff. So yeah, the opening was not strong. And I agree with Chris in that case.
No, I'm right there with you guys. And also, we got 30 people watching, 29 likes. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to continue to give the thumbs up to the video, share it, and continue the conversation in the comments. But yeah, I'm totally with you guys. the Jack seeing him with the knife, it's like you know who that is, bro. You can't see that's clearly, but hey, whatever. Maybe he was side-eyeing him. He was blacked out because he was ready to kill someone. Who knows? But the moment at the table, yes, I think it was Haley that kind of lightened up the scene and kind of put a little bit more flavor to it with her describing their friendship, bondship, partnership, Avenger level type of threat. And again, Eleanor with the sly comment about Black Widow. That's a excuse me, what did you say now? Type of comment, but Clint, he let it slide. High tensions going on. But what I do like about the scene in regards to following up that scene, we see Eleanor, she leaves a voicemail. We don't know who she calls. She leaves a voicemail about something going on. I don't know. Is that the big boss? If it's going to be revealed that she's working for the uncle, as we're alluding to be, Kingpin in the coming weeks. But this is a more interesting conversation to be had in regards to Laura. We all know that Clint and his wife Laura, she's not a wife in the shadows. She knows everything that's going on. She knows that he was Ronin. She obviously knows that he's an Avenger. But then she cuts on, she's doing the mom, not telling the kids who I'm on the phone with. But then she gets into switching her accent. And Amanda, tossing it to you. And the word is out there on the internet. Did Laura used to work for S.H.I.E.L.D. back in the day? I know people have been throwing the word Mockingbird, who I know is in the comics, and I believe Mockingbird was on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. I don't know. Amanda, is Laura going to get in the mix some way, somehow? And is she tied to that Rolex watch some way, somehow?
You know what? It's a possibility. Maybe she's going to be the big reveal. And we're hyping
Clint
up
everything for her. Is he covering for his wife?
See, you never know. Maybe it is truly a holiday family affair, and there is no Kingpin, and Laura's going to be the reveal. Like maybe she's the big bad, and she's tied to the power. Someone said the power broker that Eleanor was tied to the power broker. Maybe I don't know, but like it's going to be a very small scale person making this big reveal. I have a very strong feeling about that.
I hope not.
But it could be Mockingbird. It could be Mockingbird. I think that would be great to have that for Laura and Clint, just considering like it's so family oriented and we don't really know much of her backstory. So I think that'd be really cool. Yeah.
And I think, there's a reason why she's so up to stuff with all, Natasha's affairs and obviously Clint. It seems like she might have been in the mix with S.H.I.E.L.D. at some point. I don't know, Chris, were you thinking the same thing when she cut on the accent and was talking about the watch and giving Clint, like she was giving Clint information on where to find the watch. So is Nick Fury involved? I don't know, man. It's a lot to think about with Laura, who I love Carlini. I love that they're giving her more to do. But is she somehow attached to S.H.I.E.L.D., my friend?
I think that's what we're supposed to get from this episode. And I don't agree that would be the big reveal in this series, especially this season one of this series. But she's obviously a part of it. I think, I think the theories saying tying her to the watch are pretty accurate. If I had to guess, I think getting the fact that your wife can track down information that you could use as an Avenger, like that's all I needed to see.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I care to see it, but I think I will see it.
Well said, my friend. I think it'll be very interesting to see how things play out with Laura. And I think if this episode was to give us anything, that watch and covering up for a certain person, their cover be blown. I don't know if Laura is that person he was referring to a little bit later in the episode. We'll get to that point. But this is where, again, we alluded to it and starting with you, Amanda, where the writing felt weird, the placement, the pacing kind of slowed down for me, is when we get this scene with Eleanor, Jack, and Tait as the mom dancing and they're bonding, and it's like what, they're growing. She's kind of growing used to him. Like, didn't an episode ago you thought he was a murderer, and then 2 seconds later he's a murderer? But that scene was so weird.
Yeah.
Amanda, can you walk me through it?
I was confused. I'm still confused. I'm like, you literally thought that he was a suspect. You were hunting him down on your mother's computer for Bishop security literally minutes before. And now you're like so happy that your mom is happy. Like, what, where is this? Like, are you trying because it's the holidays? And then he was sitting there like he was so nice to you and Clint for like going on a mission, and he was like supportive. Like, I don't understand that whole scene was also like, not that I wasn't cringing, but it felt really uncomfortable to watch.
It's just weird. It's a weird placement.
Yeah. And I was like, it didn't make any sense to me. And I just don't, I can't, the vibe with Eleanor is just weird. It's so weird. And I love Vera Farmiga so much, but like that scene was just woo. Just no.
It was a weird one. Chris, man, your thoughts on this moment? Again, they're like joking about Jack and him like not saying quotes properly or dribbling up the quotes or whatever, and the dancing, and we're seeing Kate like, oh, I haven't seen my mom happy in this long. She's in love with a murderer, a killer. It's like, what is going on here, Chris? What's your thoughts on this scene, man?
Honestly, like if I hate someone and then they just start dancing in front of me, I'm gonna hate them more. So I think it's stupid. I hated that scene, and I hope that you guys would hate it too. So I'm happy to hear this.
I wasn't a fan, man. Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah.
No, yeah, I think it was nonsense. I think the show is trying to make us feel like this dude is okay. But we just he's too creepy. So it's like this one stupid dance is not gonna. And I hate in movies. This is so unimportant, and I'm gonna waste your time for the next 30 seconds. But I hate in movies when they be singing, like when they sing off. I don't know if it's an old people thing. Like you can hear the words, the words, and you sing it off. Like just sing it right. Like you making me hate you even more. That's all I have to say about that.
Hey, we should make a video of nitpicks of movies and shows. That's one of them. The thing that really gets to me is breakfast scenes when they have these full on meal course meals for breakfast, and the kid just eats a piece of toast and out. That stuff gets on my grinds my gears, to say the least. But let us know in the comments
if
you
in black
guys.
Movie, though. You've never seen that in a black movie,
right? Let us know in the chat, guys, what you all thought about that placement of the scene. Are we supposed to care for Jack? Are we supposed to like, oh, Eleanor hasn't, she's in love again? Let us know what you all think about that. But before we move on, quick shout out to Discuss Harley with the 1999 super chat, showing some love as she always does. I don't trust the mom. She knows more than what she's letting on. 1000%. Eleanor is sus. She's calling people, leaving voicemails. She has this weird boyfriend. There's something going on with Eleanor. And quick question, Chris and Amanda. We haven't talked about the dad since week 1. I think we talked about it briefly, but are we assuming the dad is her real dad that died in episode 1? Nobody but a funeral. Is there any is the dad going to have some type of connections to the show later on, Amanda? Is he really dead? Nobody?
He's dead.
He's dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're not going to do a funeral. Like you're the family.
I'm just checking.
He's dead.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he could come back and be Fisk. Who knows? I'm joking.
I'm just
Which is crazy because this is super unrelated, but there was like this. I don't know if you guys saw this. This is real life news. There was like there's a guy on YouTube who's like a YouTube scuba diver, and he like looks for like people's lost shit. I forgot what state this was, and he like finds there's a missing couple. They've been missing for 21 fucking years, and he finds their car in like right like where they lived at, like just no one saw them, and he just like found the car, and like he's like, yeah, the windows are sealed, like this is them, and then like the family then had a funeral for them. So I don't know if that's like it's like if they because the family didn't see a body, they're just like, we're not doing this, we just gonna see it. And then now they finally they're able to pay their respects and all that. So that's crazy story, but I guess they wouldn't have done a funeral if they didn't have the body.
My man, they were struggling with money issues. There's fake insurance claims. They needed some money. I don't know. We'll see. But let us know in the comments what you all think about that. And again, thank you, Harley, for the super chat. But this is where it did pick up again. I did feel like, and Amanda and Chris, you guys both alluded to it. I think when these two are on screen together, this is the magic of the show. This is the Falcon and Winter Soldier vibes of Bucky and Sam when they go back and forth. WandaVision with obviously Wanda and Vision, Loki and Sylvie. When you get those dynamics, this is where Marvel's at its best. And I think this moment here, kind of walking through the scene, Clint takes the advice from his wife and is, cleaning his wounds and just relaxing, chilling, want to take his night off with all the stuff going on. But he gets a little visit from a friend with some pizza, a Christmas tree, and some Christmas movies. And Amanda, your thoughts on, again, this bonding? We get working the case together, talking about the trick arrows. He's showing her how to do the trick with the coin and how to knock someone out from 20 feet. And then we get a little emotional. We talk about how Clint felt during that 5 years of being Ronin, which, Chris, I know you was happy with this because I was. She finally put the pieces to the damn puzzle together. Oh, you're Ronin after 4 weeks. And, he goes into all that stuff and how he can't come back from it and how it haunts him. And we see the flashbacks of that moment there. So your thoughts on this bonding that we get with Clint and Kate?
Best part of the episode. You have your holiday cheer. You have a grumpy old Clint Barton who's missing his family, and Kate realizes that, like, I have my family. There's a reason why all of these scenes were placed before this, and it makes sense. But she realizes, like, this guy's here for me and he can't go home, so I'm going to give him a nice little Christmas treat, and she does. And I think the important part is the fact that they understand each other like other people wouldn't understand them as archers, and who they are. And I think the important part of what Clint was saying was that I was a weapon, I wasn't a hero. Like, that actually made me emotional, because I'm like, holy, like, that's what he thinks of himself. That's why, like, he always brings himself like down notches. He doesn't see himself as a hero. And to even say that to Kate, like, I think that's important because she idolizes him so much. But he's seen some shit. He's seen some shit. We don't realize how much crap he's actually been through. And then when he talks about Nat, like, that broke me as well, because it's like, it's still playing on his mind over like 20 years, you know? So it's a great scene. I thought the writing in that scene really just elevated this episode. Or else, like, nothing really great happens until the end. But it was just very charming, emotional, and wholesome to see them there. And Pizza Dog's there too.
God.
But it's still great. But yeah, Christmas sweaters, the Thanos mug. The Thanos was right mug was so funny. But yeah, that's the strong point. Like we've been saying, them together, the banter, the emotional connection, and understanding each other. I think that's what's really important for this series. And moving forward for Kate to understand the other side of everything.
Yep. No, 100%, man. And Will said they have the bond of loss, right? They both lost people close to them. You know, obviously with Kate with her dad, who's dead, as well as, you know, Clint with all this, you know, obviously Natasha and all the stuff he's probably seen. But you mentioned, I love that line that, you know, the best shot you never took. Well, the best shot you ever took was the one he didn't take, which obviously alludes to his relationship with Natasha and how that kind of became, you know, what it was. So I love that moment between those two, and I think you're so right, man. At least for me, that was the best moment of the episode as far as like emotional beat and you know, dramatic beats. But Chris, man, so I'll send it to you in regards to this moment again. I think that trick shot that she learned will play a part, foreshadowing maybe for a later episode that she'll be using. But again, just recapping that whole scene, man, in regards to Clint by himself, Kate being almost like a second family because he's not at home with his real family, and them just having a bond, having a moment, man.
Yeah, I think what's kind of cool about that scene is like you just hear about the wife Laura talking about how tired this guy is and how he needs to sit down and rest. And we all had that moment where we're just like, all right, you finally finish, like, I don't know, a work day or even like a YouTube video or something like that, and you finally like sit down, kick your feet up, and then maybe your phone, maybe something like that. So I was thinking like, damn, like he must be so pissed, like he got to get up now, But then like because it's her, he's so tired, he's still willing to be like, all right, cool, come on in. Like that's how that's what that shows the relationship for me, in my opinion. It was just like, damn, like he's not even pissed that he's missing his nap because this dude is old and grumpy, so she must be important to him. I also thought it was so stupid that he was using smoothies as ice packs. This dude is an Avenger. Like, get the best shit. Ugh. Oh my god!
We all know Tony, man. There was no retirement package for the Avengers.
Yeah.
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Get a pension, bruh. No, I thought the scene was cool. I missed the Thanos mug. I gotta watch that again. I think.
Yeah, no,
it was
a great
purple.
It was the purple. Yeah, it's the second Thanos quote in this show so far. So
I remember the first one. Yeah, I remember the first one. But yeah, it was a good scene. I think, like Amanda said, it was like the deepest scene. It's cool to 100%. See Elena at the end, of course, but this is like the actual like quality scene. Like it's like the same phone call with the son last week or whatever. It's like these are like the little moments where they're trying to like, you know, get everybody all emotional in there.
100%. Yeah. And the moment there, the whole weapon line, as Caleb has mentioned, I think it could be used as two ways. He was a weapon for S.H.I.E.L.D., you know, when he was Hawkeye. And then, you know, he was obviously a weapon. He created the weapon in this extent in regards to Ronan. He took it upon himself to, you know, kill those people that he's deemed to be villainous and what have you, which I'm still loving. I want more. I want more of the Ronan stuff. The consequences should not be ignored, ladies and gentlemen. This man was killing people for 5 years. So I hope that they continue that does happen.
But weren't they bad guys?
Yeah, but you can't put as Daredevil would say, you can't put the in your, you can't be the justice, you can't be the judge, the jury, and the
if you save the universe, you can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever. Well, he didn't save the universe quite yet, my friend. He was killing folks before he saved the folks.
Yeah,
so I guess
getting back credit.
Balancing it out. Yeah, he's like, hey, I killed
like
1,000 people,
Armageddon,
but I
when
brought
like
1 billion people back.
The Armageddon guys, when they were talking about all the stuff that they wanted, they were able to save the world, like they get like tax free and all that. Like it's like that. Like, oh, just clean my record.
Perfect example. He killed a bad guy. What did it create? Maya. What did it do now? It's fast forward. It's catching up to him. So yeah, he killed some bad guys, but those bad guys had families, and those families had, so it's catching up. So I do hope they continue that narrative that there are consequences to Clint Barton's actions. So yeah, as we saw with Black Widow as well. So we'll see how all that plays out. But quick shout out to get another super chat from our friend here from Toronto with the $5 super chat. This show is great cast, totally agree, but execution at certain points it drags, but all action scenes are a big hit. I agree. Disagreed how Clint treated Kate. Disappointed how Clint, we'll get to that moment for sure towards the end, but a lot of good stuff said there. I think you're so right. The cast is phenomenal. Execution is a little wonky at times. It does drag, but those action sequences we'll talk about in a bit are fantastic. But great comments and appreciate the super chat there. So moving on to our next scene, and you guys know how I feel about the lappers. What are they called?
LARPers.
LARPers. Sorry to the LARPer community out there, and no disrespect to them. I'm just referring to them in the show. I'm not a fan of. I don't know why. It's like a running joke that they have to coming back. But hey, they're here. Kate gets a mission. She has to go retrieve which I gotta say, I don't know how you all feel about the scene about the trick arrows and like having a boomerang and bringing the arrows back and dodging them. I don't know if you guys thought
it was so cute. I was so cute because she was serious. And he's like, "The fuck is wrong with you?
Are you hearing what you're saying?"
It was adorable.
Very funny moment. But the tracking arrows, he pinpoint them to the people, and that he sends Kate on the mission to go there, and she goes there. She befriends the police force and the firemen and firewomen, and they make a deal in regards to, hey, I'm on a mission from an Avenger, and I need your help. So she bonds with them. They get the suit and all that stuff. And I can't leave out that Clint was talking to Maya's right-hand man, which, by the way, I saw on the internet. I don't know if you guys rewatch episode 3, but apparently the little boy in the karate scene was actually the same. What was his name? Kaiser was the kid's name, her friend.
Oh,
yeah.
I know what you mean.
So their friendship runs long. So they were children. So that little kid is the same kid. That's the guy that we see as her right hand man. So Clint gets information.
Which he looks just like the Game of Thrones guy that's dating Eternals. I forget everyone's name now. He's the one that at the end of he's like in the Blade in the end sequence, like her love.
Kid Harington.
Kid Harington.
Yeah,
they do have a resemblance.
He looks just like that.
Does resemble him for sure, for sure. And we see, like I said, we see Clint in that scene throws away his weapons, trying to get Maya to get off the Ronin case, right? Because obviously he brings up again, your boss isn't going to be happy with her going on this road of vengeance. But your thoughts, Amanda, on obviously Kate's mission, Clint's mission, before we kind of wrap up the episode in regards to getting their trick arrows back in this moment here.
So I think the whole LARPing situation, I thought it was cute. It was better than before, but I guess because they're in the world now and they're connected to Clint, like, I guess I'm fine with it. But after this episode, I think that they're the ones who are going to make Clint's new suit. And I think that's why that's their purpose here.
Yep. Great point.
So I'm like, that makes sense. I don't mind them. It's like, I hope he returns the duffel bag to that girl, to be honest.
I don't think she's getting that duffel bag
so
back.
random.
It was just, I don't know. It was funny. I chuckled. I'm like, haha, it was good. I like the scene in the car with the henchmen. For me, and I was going to bring this up before, and I know how much you want to know about Ronan and all of that, but I think because it wasn't fully not developed. It's not fully developed.
It's off screen.
Like,
there's a lot of off screen stuff.
Yeah. So I feel like because they didn't really pay attention to that at all, or even touched upon it afterwards, like in any case, I think that it's underwhelming when we know that that's a part of the episode, and like a part of the series, and that's why people are going after him. Like, I don't think Ronan was strong enough to have in this series. Unfortunately,
it's such an integral plot to the
so that's the only thing where I'm like, when he's talking about Ronan, like they lose me. Like I kind of check out and being honest with it, just because I wish there was more beforehand and that wasn't off screen. But it's still like it's still cool to know. Like I'm not saying that it's not. It's just that's the way I'm feeling about those two scenes. And again, like it's still wonky when they're separated, and it kind of felt off. Even the little jabs and the humor just felt kind of weak. But
I agree. And you're so on the money about how they're making that group integral into the story, because you're so right. They're going to make the costumes. That's their whole, I think point of the show. But also, I don't know, maybe I'm looking too much into it, but maybe they're poking fun of us, the fans, that this is us in the show. Like we would, geek out and do anything an Avenger would say. So maybe it's just like a little play on us as the fans of Hawkeye and these Avengers. But Chris, man, just following up on what Amanda said in regards to their part in the show, but also, the scene with Ronan, or I should say Hawkeye, Clint talking to the gentleman about, ending this. Ronan's dead. He's no longer here. As Henry Cavill would say, the bat's dead.
Chasing a ghost.
Yeah, you're chasing a ghost. So your thoughts on this sequence and all that fun stuff, man?
Yeah, like Amanda said, I was very cool with the car scene with the henchman. Moving the knife, moving the gun. I like that. That was cool. The LARPers. You hated the LARPers last time, but I thought the black guy was funny enough to like let me be like just like to let me allow it. Yeah. But he didn't like say anything funny this time, so I was like, damn, they wasted my dog. I like when the bag thing was so stupid. I was like, why would she say that? But then I like when she said, "You didn't bring your own bag," so like it's worth it for that line.
Yeah.
That's a good line. So I was cool with that. But then I'm like, if I thought, okay, in the show, are they gonna just make the costumes in the end? And I'm like, do they make good costumes? Like, is that a thing that we want? Like, it's one thing that's fucking what's your guy's name that you guys like, the Falcon? He gets the shit from Wakanda. Like, yeah, that's a great idea. But like, these guys are just regular
people. Yeah.
Like, is it gonna be protective? Like, are they using leather?
I think these are the suits. I think these are the suits that they're gonna make them. Is what we've seen in the promotion. I think this is gonna be his finalized suit potentially. Obviously, there could be modifications.
Like in real life, would he wear that? Like, would he wear that suit from these like volunteers? And I had to rewind this scene too, because I was like, I didn't know. I was like, why did he send her to the LARPers? Is it just because they're volunteers and they're like they have a connection to the police who could then get them to the cops? It was very much like.
So my understanding of the scene, and correct me if I'm wrong for everyone watching the chat, I think Clint said there's a tracker device on all his arrows, so he tracked it to the police department, and they happen to work for the police department. So that's their kind of connective tissues. Like, hey, we can get it from the police because that's where it's at.
Or she could have just gone to the police. She could have gone to the police. I guess
but this is more fun, Chris.
This is fun. Yes.
It is more fun. And it was a very suspension of belief for them to just trust her, because like if he showed up, they'd be like, okay, but like,
right.
I'm friends with Hawkeye. Like, word. Yeah.
She had a bow.
She had a bow. Yeah, she fit the part.
They all have bows. They're all LARPers.
Hey, they fell for it. They fell for the and then I guess another thing, this just shows you, Kate, she's not a superhero. Why would you bring them to you guys' like hideout spot? Like, I don't know why she did that. That was kind of silly to me. Right. She's a rookie. I guess. Yeah. Rookie mistake.
She's a rookie that could just hang with Echo and
let
me not get ahead of myself.
Yeah. We're gonna. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and transition to that. We talked about it earlier, but we see Laura again. This watch. What's the situation with the watch? I don't know. Some people, I think online, I saw on Twitter, people think that it's Tony Stark's watch from Civil War, which I don't think it looked the same at all, in my opinion. But again, the watch, we see Cade and Clint go to the location of where the Rolex is from Laura. We have the conversation on the rooftop that the watch is very important to Clint because it is covering a friend of his, which again, we're assuming maybe his wife. We'll see what comes of that. We see Kate again, rookie mistake as Clint, which, by the way, she must be the Flash, because for him to be giving her the instructions and for her to be downstairs so fast was very quick. I'll allow it.
And do the Batman escape.
Yes, very fast. She makes her way across the street, meets the old man from Toy Story 2 who lets her into the apartment. She's talking in the ear. All that stuff is funny. We find out that it is the apartment of Maya. But more importantly, how did Maya get information on Clint's family? Again, whoever her uncle is, for assuming it's Kingpin, some pretty valuable information that we thought was not on the books. Because again, safe house and family, but I guess, Maya has some pretty big connections there. I don't know if it might tie to Eleanor, because we know she has a security system and might know who people are connected to. But neither here nor there. Cutting to you, Amanda, we get the action of the week, right? We get Maya versus Tait, which I don't know how Tait was able to last a second with her, considering that Maya was kicking Hawkeye's ass last week.
Which is also crazy.
Suspend the disbelief. She is going to be the next, probably the leader of the new Avengers. But we get Maya versus Kate Bishop, and then we get Hawkeye versus. We're not going to reveal the character quite yet, but we all know who that was in the Splinter Cell outfit. But your thoughts, Amanda, on this sequence? Again, the banter at first, and then leading up to this fight scene.
Again, banter on a mission. Give me it. Give me all of it because I love it so much. I thought they were really funny together. Her taking the elevator, I was dying because it was just so cute. But again, this watch, like if he's, I feel like if that watch belongs to his wife, it would have been said. So I think a friend of his, it could be Matt Murdock. He could know Matt Murdock for some reason. It could be. And it's like there is a red tinge to it. So I'm assuming if they're going to give anything away, unless it's like gold, I don't know. I can't really see with it. But if there is a red tinge, it could be Matt Murdock's watch. But
it was in the Avengers compound. Does Matt know the Avengers?
True. I didn't think of that either. Yeah, that's right. I'm just hoping it's Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I don't know how that'll play into it. I do think that the action scenes were weak this week for some strange reason. I didn't like it in this episode. I think that it was too far-fetched at times. It was also very dark. And I know it's nighttime, but like I couldn't see shit. I couldn't see anything. And it was just really weak in my eyes. And it just looked weird. The editing again for these fight scenes have been off sometimes too. So Maya kicking ass, yeah, I believe it. But Kate getting her ass whooped that bad. Okay. So she was trying and failing a couple times at the end of this episode. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that watch is. I don't know.
Chris, man, you broke the theory last week to us, man, in regards to maybe a second Ronin out there, which still a possibility. But you got any thoughts, man, on this watch? Again, Caitlin brings it up. I think she's right in regards to the watch. It looks too basic to be a Tony Stark watch. Again, I know some people are online are thinking that it might be Tony's watch. Again, it's an Avenger compound. I don't know who else in the world why this will have any significance. Any thoughts on this watch, Chris? Again, we're speculating it might be Laura's, but you're so right. Why wouldn't they just say, "Hey, honey, my watch I need you to get"? I don't know, man. What's up with this watch, bro?
Yeah.
Whatever's up with this watch, we're gonna hate what happens with.
They're gonna turn around. It's embossed with Ralph Boner on it.
Jesus Christ.
Elliot
I hate the watch. I hate the watch, and I wish it was like a more important thing. Like, who cares? Like, what could it like? It could be Jesus Christ. Like, get a new watch. Like, it's one thing if it was like
some significance.
We need this suit because the suit is a crazy thing. I need the sword because it's this. But a freaking Rolex, like, if you don't take your ass to Macy's, I just don't think the reveal will be epic. I think it is his wife's. But then if it is, I can't imagine why it's so important to get it. Yeah. Also,
and why is it at the Avengers compound?
Yeah.
Why is her? Yeah.
Also, why the fuck is it on your like on your desk, like at your crib, like next to your plant? Like,
yes, why isn't it given?
Open window,
open window. You got the notepad, like all your secrets, all your Clint secrets are right next to it. Like, I get it for the show. It's like, yeah,
2 on the nose for you, Chris. 2 on the nose.
You have to be able to find the shit. I get it, but also like this is nonsense.
It's true.
I also think what was I gonna say about that? Maybe like Clint's family. My theory, far-fetched, is that after the blip happened, like people knew the Avengers more. So like maybe someone like revealed like Hawkeye was so invested because his whole family, like people like I feel like people were finding out who people lost. So like if you're like a fan of the Avengers, like then you might know. It's like the Kardashians, like you're just getting more tea after the blip. So that's my way of how I explain like how like people would know more about Clint.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, man. I think because it was like how the hell did for so many years he was going on the radar. But yeah, I'm still I don't know why I'm so tied to this watch. It's just I don't even because the thing that's tripping me over is just like why it's in an Avengers compound. Why would Laura's watch be there? We obviously kind of alluded to maybe not being Tony's watch because it seems so basic. So I don't know. I don't know if some people are speculating, Kingpin, but again, why would Kingpin watch be at the Avengers Tower?
Yeah.
I don't know. This watch reveal, maybe we're looking too much into it, but the show is obviously making us look into it. So it's not like we're stretching here. They've obviously made this watch a very MacGuffin of the show. People want this watch besides Ronan's thing. So I don't know. I never thought that we would be speculating on this is Marvel. This is what it does to you. Watch. Who owns the watch?
Jesus.
We'll see. Hopefully we'll find out sooner.
It's the power broker.
It's the Shannon, she comes up from there. Oh, thanks. I would.
Yeah.
Power broker.
Well, it would make sense because it's Sharon Carter. That could be at the Avengers compound.
True. Very true.
I don't want it.
Yeah, and then also like if Laura did have connections, I don't think she was an Avenger ever, but if she was like an agent, like then it could be at the compound. Like maybe Fury just has like old shit in there, just like old Batman suits, like just in like the Batcave, just like a museum.
That watch I think something's inside of that watch. Something other than time is in that watch. And I can't wait to find out.
And it better be fire.
It better be, man. I'm telling you.
Ant-Man probably just lives in it. Ant-Man's just trapped in it.
That would be such a great reveal.
He's trapped in time and Quantumania. I like it, Chris. I like it, man. Love it. But the highlight of the week, as far as the fight sequence go, which was, it was dark. It was cool just because I knew who was in the suit, which we might as well just get to it. We see again Splinter Cell, Sam, multiverse crossover here, makes his way into fighting Clint. Clint thinks he's fighting Maya, but obviously it's not. As Kate makes her way over there fighting Maya, and it's no other than, drum roll please, ladies and gentlemen, Yelena is back. She's not talking, but she's here. She's ready to fight. She's ready to kill. Which, by the way, if you were on a mission to kill Clint, one gun, Yelena, one gun, and you had a shot. And listen, it's a show. I get it, but she's back. She didn't say a word, but she's back. It is great to always see Florence Pugh, and what it means for the show is very integral. It's going to be in episode 5, as we talked about. Is it going to overshadow the show? Are we going to get a 10-minute scene, which I think is needed, but it should have been in this episode of them talking it out, figuring things out. But Clint thinks it's just a Black Widow. I don't know if he knows that it's Natasha's sister. They were close friends, but I don't know if it was off the
at first I thought he knew, but then at the end I thought he doesn't know.
It's like, it's just a hired Black Widow versus.
Because I thought he said like, sister. Oh, you like who is that? He's like, you don't want to know. Like,
you don't want to know. Yeah, I'm like, so he knows.
But then I forgot something else that they showed, and I was like, oh, he doesn't know.
Well, I just took it when he said it was a hired Black Widow, that he's just assuming it's just a random Black Widow out on the kill for him.
Because maybe I'm sure Natasha maybe never even told him she had a sister. I doubt he would have been tracked her down probably.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Yeah,
I 100% agree. But tossing to you, Amanda, this scene here again, seeing the fight shaking out. Which, by the way, I assume Maya ran off because she was just like, okay, let me regroup. Because she ran out of there probably like, oh, time to go. But either way, she's, regrouping, and we get the Yelena reveal. I saw your comments on Twitter. If you want to elaborate on them more on the live stream, how did you feel about Yelena making her appearance in this episode?
First of all, we have known since July that she is going to be in this freaking show.
No secret there, right?
I would have loved to have actually been surprised with this instead of seeing it in a teaser of what she was going to look like a week before this episode, and then have everybody and their mother confirm that Yelena Belova is in this episode at the end, because that took away the entire reveal for me. It was very underwhelming. I'm like, okay, cool, she's here.
Yeah.
I didn't care. And that bothers me because they've been doing that for every single cameo, everything. Oh, big bad's coming in this one, or it's this episode you gotta watch. They're even saying
the engineer in WandaVision.
Exactly. And I'm like, if you need that to funnel the attention to your show, that's also BS. I'm not gonna lie to you. That means you're using it as a crutch. And that's what I'm starting to dislike. And for all of this, it's like they're also boosting 5 and 6, saying it's gonna change the MCU forever. And Twitter, Twitter's gonna go nuts. And I'm like, okay, if you already teased Kingpin, who the actual hell is going to come in at the end, like these last 2 episodes? Who's coming? I'd like to know who's coming.
Thanos. They've been saying
honestly,
Thanos so much.
Why not at this point? But I know that I'm going off on like a little rant here, but it's just the fact it's so upsetting to get something like boosted to like 100%. Like I should be hyped for this episode, and then it being so freaking underwhelming because this show is being played too on the nose. Like we could write that finale after next week. I'm pretty sure we could. So that annoyed me. I would have rather have Yelena come in and have that conversation with Clint in 5. I didn't need this at the end of this one just to, oh my God, she's here. I wouldn't have cared. I need that conversation. We all need that conversation because that conversation is going to probably heal Clint and it's probably going to heal Yelena with Nat's death. So I think that conversation would be really important. There's no shock value. We've known since July. So it's just upsetting the way that they set all this up for this episode.
I agree, Amanda. They not only announced Florence Pugh, like Marvel announced her as being part of the show almost, I feel like a year ago. And then obviously leading up to it and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a bit overwhelming. To me, it would have maybe had more of a bigger impact if she would have maybe had Laura like hostage or had the kids like, damn, Yelena, you're really going gully with it. But it was a little bit too on the nose, like you mentioned, especially with last week's teaser when we saw the person in the mask. But Chris, man, hey, did it get you, my friend? Were you shocked? Were you jaws on the floor, Yelena screaming on the top of your lungs, making it back? Or were you a little bit underwhelmed like Amanda was?
Yeah, well, my passion doesn't match Amanda's, but that's good. We're a team. We're a team. I love rages, so I love your rage. And I didn't get to see your tweet, so this is all new to me. So this is the biggest shock that I've experienced in the last 24 hours. Ooh. But no, of course. I mean, I think when we had episode 1 on your watch, I think I predicted end of 4. We all made a prediction when we wanted to see or when we thought we would see her. And I expected it to be a fight, and then the next time, like, oh my bad, let's work together, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like I expected that. It's just so hard to get a good quality surprise these days. I'm trying to think the biggest surprise of all of these shows.
Jonathan Majors. I'm gonna say Jonathan Majors was a mic drop. Yeah.
And then and then they found a way to do it, knowing that there was rumors about it. So like, it's possible. Yep. Especially with something like this, we assume from watching Black Widow's end credits.
Yep.
That this will tie in. But there's a way to do it where it's just like, and I guess maybe they even try to do it with I'm fighting Maya. I don't know.
Honestly, we're
not regular. We're not regular
maybe it
fans.
Wasn't meant to be a big surprise. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, and then maybe people who are just not crazy like us, like maybe they watch it like, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's
so
true.
Like maybe I have to see from what the rest of the fans are saying, but her skill is in her dialogue and her fighting. So it's like we only got 50% of that, and the fighting was very quick and it was dark. Yeah. So it's like you kind of cheated us to just drop it in the end like that. Not even one quick line, not even one, just a cool little exit,
superhero landing,
and then
just poser. I should say poser,
little poser.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at with it. So we shall see. They got 2 episodes left. We'll see what's shaking.
I'll just say this: I'm definitely feeling your sentiments, Amanda, because I think it felt like Civil War in a sense that if you're on a blood hunt for this person that you think killed your sister, those were some pretty light blows. Those weren't.
Yeah.
The way she fought Black Widow, Natasha and Black Widow was more violent than when she was fighting Clint. Like it felt very like
sparring.
Like sparring. Like you're out for blood. It felt very like it felt like the show was restraining the character before they can obviously lead on to next episode. Which to me, I don't like when shows do that. Of course, you want to build the suspense. I get all that, but narratively speaking, and it makes sense that he should have been knocked out. He should have been something. She just dipped and I don't know. It was just too on the nose. It was too CW, if you will, Arrow type of moment or something.
Oh no!
It did not stick the landing the way I was hoping to. Again, yes, I love the Florence Pugh as Yelena and what it could mean for the show, but they could have played that a lot better, in my opinion. And I think a lot of you all feel the same way on the panel. Let us know in the chat how you all felt about Yelena's appearance. I know we don't, for those that are like freaking out still, we don't want to, poo-poo on your parade. If you loved it, we love, I'm glad you loved it, but I think narratively speaking, it could have been a lot more impactful than what we end up getting. But hey, like you guys said, we got 2 more episodes. I don't want it to overshadow the show, but I do want the scene between Clint and Yelena talking it out as adults.
Yeah, I think we'll get that.
I hope we get it. And it is, next week, as Amanda said early on, they said the writers of the show, I don't know why they're doing it. I know why they're doing it because they're selling the show, but it's Marvel. We don't need the hype. The hype already is built.
I know.
Amanda alluded to it. They said episodes 5 and 6 will have the internet shaken. So
who said that?
The creators of the show, the directors of the people behind the show said that you guys prepare for to be shocked again
for 5 and 6.
For 5
every
and 6.
time, it's always 5 and 6, no matter what.
Like, I get it, but it's just like we might get another Ralph Boner situation, which that would be incredibly underwhelming.
I will throw my television away.
Hey, we can only speculate again. Yelena, this man here, we'll see. So it's 5 and 6 have up its sleeve in the weeks ahead. But overall, wrapping it up, Chris, just again, as we broke it all down, if you were to place this episode on a ranking scale from 1 to 4, top half, bottom half, kind of in the middle, and then what you hope to see in week 5 in regards to cameos or plots or characters you would like to see next week, my friend.
I think number 1 is still maybe my favorite one. I don't even know why. This will be my second favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Then episode 2 would be 3, and then last week would be the 4th, my least favorite. Next week, I just want to give me some more of that Yelena that I've been missing so much since Black Widow. It's only been a couple months, but
no.
So yeah, that's what I want to see. Let's see. Figure out the watch because I don't want to see that shit drag. Like, just figure it out and let me move on with my life. And for you Daredevil fans, I hope you guys get some Kingpin love.
Ooh, that would be crazy, man. Vanessa, I would love to see that. Amanda, same questions for you in regards to just final take on this episode. Where it kind of ranks for you in the 4, and then what you hope to see next week. Is it this man here who is a trouble starter?
Please. Yes, Kingpin. Maybe Matt Murdock, but Kingpin. Most definitely next episode or the finale. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just want to see my boy. And I know Vincent D'Onofrio has not kept his mouth shut whatsoever. So it's a lot of fun having him on Twitter. For me, Hawkeye across the board, every single episode has been mid. Every single episode. This series has been mid. I feel like it's basic, and it hasn't really surprised me in any way. I love Kate. I love her. I'm excited for the future of Kate Bishop. I love Kate and Clint together. Everything else is just it's there. I'm watching because I have to. So I would rank the episodes 3, 1, 4, 2. That's just how I'm feeling. I don't like saying that it's mid because I feel like I'm just trashing it, and I'm not. It's just I wanted more from it, and hopefully 5 and 6 pick it up, but as a whole, it's just middle of the thing for me, middle of the road.
No, I mean, and to Amanda's credit, I mean, the reason why we're holding these episodes on such a high pedestal is because it's 13 years, right? Of just, I don't want to say excellence. There's been some highs and lows in the Marvel, but we expect a certain, the writing, all the reveals to just be on a top notch. And right now, I think I'm right there with you, Amanda and Chris. It's a good show, but I haven't been completely blown away by it yet. And who's to say? And that's the thing. That's kind of the give or take with Marvel is the expectations are so high that when it is just. It is what it is. Sometimes it can get a little bit underwhelming, but you're right, Amanda. We still got 5 and 6. This is in a weird way. This is still like watching a movie. You can't judge a film until you see the third act, all of it. So it might all tie together once we see how all 6 episodes kind of build up to the finale, and obviously it's going to lead to more to come. But I think my rating of the episodes right now is 3, 2, 1, and then probably this one for me. And again, not a terrible episode, but it's just the Elena reveal, a little bit underwhelming. The family bonding, fake, silly moment with Kate and Eleanor and Jack was a little bit weird and misplaced. But the thing that saved it, as we talked about in this episode, Clint and Kate. Their bonding, their friendship, or becoming a friendship, the partnership. Because wrapping up the episode, to forget to mention, Clint says, "Leave it alone, go home. I don't want you attached to it anymore." We know she's going to come back, but I think all that stuff with those two characters are working, and that's the show, right? Hawkeye, and right now both of our Hawkeyes are doing their thing, but everything else surrounding it's just a little underwhelming. But hey, we'll see what comes of it in the coming weeks, ladies and gentlemen. For everyone that watched us live, like the video, shared the video, all the wonderful comments, the super chats from Harley and Carl and everyone that showed some love. We really appreciate you all. And next week, Amanda and Chris, not only will we be getting episode 5.
Don't even do it.
There's a movie coming out.
I don't even. We're not talking about it. We are not even addressing it.
Independent
if you're not talking about the Amazing Spider-Man, we are not talking about it.
It's a film coming out next week that I think a lot of us are excited to talk about. And as you all know, we're talking about Spider-Man. So it's a busy week next week for Marvel. And I'm really excited to have you guys on next week and talk about all the wonderfulness of not only episode 5, but if all is willing, I will be seeing Spider-Man next Tuesday. So you won't hear any spoilers from me. Definitely never spoil anything, but I'm really excited to see what Spider-Man No Way Home has up his sleeve. So roundtable style, wrapping it up. Amanda, my friend from representing Canada. Hope you're staying warm out there. The internet's working for you. You defeated the internet. You won the battle. But why don't you let the fine folks at home know what you got lined up for them next?
Yeah, well, this is always fun. Love you guys, and the comments have been great tonight. On fire. You guys can always find me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Like I said at the top of the show, my West Side Story review will be out tomorrow. I have Kingsman on Monday, and then I have the 3 p.m. IMAX showing of Spider-Man No Way Home next Thursday. So I'm really excited. I still have to watch Far From Home again before I watch No Way Home, as per usual. But those reviews will be up on my website, candidcinema.com. So
fantastic, guys. Check her out. Links in the bio. Can't wait to read your reviews on those movies that you just spoke about here, and I can't wait to talk to you guys. We'll probably talk Spider-Man the following week, or who knows if you guys are free. Maybe we'll get on here live and just talk about how Ralph Boner was all the Spider-Man in the movie, and there were no Toby and Andrew or whatnot. But tossing it to you, Chris, my friend, representing the East Coast. What's the next thing you have lined up for the fine folks on your wonderful YouTube channel, my friend?
Good question, sir. That's a very good question. I think I've been enjoying the sex lives of college girls. Not in real life. There's a TV show called The Sex Lives of College Girls. Relax, people. I've been enjoying that. That show comes to an end tomorrow. They've been doing Thursdays, a couple episodes at a time each week. So I'm going to try to crank that out before the weekend. Besides that, we're still doing Insecure every week. Insecure is only 3 more episodes, so I've been releasing those on Mondays after the show comes out. So look out for that. And then my last video, if you guys weren't on the beginning of the live, is for Don't Look Up with Leo and Jennifer Lawrence. So that's on my channel right now. But that's pretty much what's on the docket for good old Tate's Take.
Can't wait, man. Again, your recaps, man. I'm like 2 seasons behind on Insecure. Just quick, briefly, and again, check out Chris's reviews, guys. But how is the season so far? I know this is the final season. Issa Rae and all that stuff is wrapping up. Has it been an enjoyable finale so far, Chris? And was it 6 episodes in?
Yeah, we're at episode 7.
Episode 7.
8,
okay,
9,
gotcha.
10. Yeah, we just finished past 7. It's been a little slow. A lot of people are kind of worried about it. So, I mean, it's probably like a season that would be okay if you knew that it wasn't the end. But it's been a little slow, but it's enjoyable. Yeah, it's enjoyable. You just have to watching content, listening to music these days. You know how it is. It's like we take it and we throw it away. So it's like I'm trying to just enjoy it for what it is and like give her flowers for what it is right now. It's like I kind of don't know what people would really expect.
Right.
But we shall see. Like you said, it's all about the full story, like the third act. So we got to see how they wrap it up, and then we'll go from there. But overall, enjoyable, little slower than I'm sure people would have wanted to expect. But we shall see.
Hey man, hey, I'm a fan of the show. I got some catching up to do, but you're killing it on the reviews, man. Again, check out Tait's Take YouTube channel, link in the bio. Check out Amanda's website. She got some fire reviews coming for you all. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, next week, episode 5 of Hawkeye, Spider-Man. I mean, next week is crazy. There's a Nightmare Alley coming out. Like
that's right.
There's Witcher 2 coming out. And poor Matrix for the following week, but poor Matrix, man. That movie might get
terrible placement. Oh my god, what a terrible placement.
And those trailers have been so fire. I'm actually so excited for Matrix 4. I wasn't that excited for the announcement, but those trailers really got me hyped. But
I think I hope people like it.
Me too, man. But I think Spider-Man is going to just destroy the conversation for the next 3 weeks, probably. To the end
every single showtime from Thursday to Monday sold in my theater. Every single showtime.
Spidey-Man, yeah. But hey, for myself, Amanda, and Chris, and everyone in the chat, man, again, you guys are awesome. If you're watching this on the replay, again, the likes, the shares, all that stuff goes a long way. But more importantly, check out my 2 amazing friends' YouTube channels, their websites, their content, links in the bio. Again, you guys have a great week. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you next week on next week's Breakdown Live. Take care, everybody.